So hello everyone, welcome to this short update from here, day 2 of the S1000D and IPS user forum here in Brussels. I'm sat with the Raytheon Eagle guys stand behind me because they sponsored this evening's network event, which was really nice. It got a bit warm in here, there was quite a few of us. I didn't get the camera out because there was a lot of people, and some people don't want to be videoed and don't want to appear on YouTube. Anyway, so what happened today, as always on the second day, traditionally after a networking evening, there was a few faces missing early doors, maybe nursing a hangover or something. But what we were doing today is the focus today was pioneering tomorrow. And we opened up with the position today is more of a strategic vision type presentations. And one of those presentations, which was a really interesting presentation, came from Airbus Defence and Space. And they were talking about how, you know, the combat cloud is going to change the way that we do product support in the future, how our products are going to talk to each other. And we talk about the connected battlefield and all those kind of things anyway. So I actually took loads and loads of notes from that presentation, and I'm going to do some more YouTube videos on that because a lot of it really resonated with me. But it also did raise a lot of questions for me as well, which I'll look at again more here on YouTube over the coming weeks. There was a great presentation from a collaborative audience, if you like. So there was Safran, Airbus Helicopters, and if I've forgotten anybody else who was on there, I apologise, who were talking about how they were using the S-Series for a next generation helicopter, which was to replace some old legacy platforms that were out there. What was really interesting, and only a couple of us picked it up, was that they mentioned in the presentation that they were using a bespoke data model based on the common data model, which, you know, raised a couple of eyebrows in the room. But that's because, again, yesterday on the presentation I talked about maturity of the specifications. But what it really was it really showed how they were looking at how they could connect all of these S-Series specifications together, how all of the data flowed. And what was really interesting, no 4000 or 6000. There was a question why, and it was just purely because they already had established processes, already established systems in place. Really interesting. If you can find the presentation on the ASD website after this, it would be really worth taking a look. In the afternoon, I went into the Defence Interest Group kind of discussions, and that was it was quite a lengthy presentation talking about what the Defence Interest Group was, and a collaboration of defence level ministry organisations that were trying to come together on a set of high-level processes and business rules, etc., to try and make life easier for the supply chain when it comes to contracting for things like the S-Series, S1000D. There was a call for people to get involved. So if you want to get involved in that kind of stuff, you can leave a comment down below or contact me on LinkedIn, and I'll introduce you to the right people who can get you involved in that. There's been quite a lot of discussion this week already on succession planning. You know, there's this kind of standing joke, the average age of this forum is quite high. Well, actually, there are quite a lot of younger faces here over the last couple of days, which is good, which has brought down that average a little bit. But what we want to do is encourage the next generation of engineers in, and, you know, Katie that talked about how do we make it accessible, how do we make it more interesting for youngsters to come into to this market. The other presentation I went into today was a really interesting one, but I wasn't allowed to take any pictures, wasn't allowed to video, wasn't allowed to do anything. And it was by the Korean aerospace industries or something along those lines, I think they were called, which they were talking about their next, if you like, generation of S1000D IETP solutions. And they showed some really clever tech on something I've been banging on about for a really long time, is how the S1000D based IETP solution can be really at the forefront of a data deployment strategy, and these guys are actually making it happen. And you know, to respect what they wanted, they had a big non-disclosure at the front saying no photos, no copying, no. So I'm not going to kind of spoiler anything that they said, but if you can, maybe see if you can find something on the ASD website or something. They had some really, really clever tech. And actually, I went and spoke to the guys afterwards at their booth. Big signs up everywhere saying no photos, no video. We exchanged some business cards, etc. They're doing some very, very clever stuff. And they talked about the next generation of their S1000D IETP and where they think the IETP is going for them. What I did take from their presentation, it was very S1000D centric. In fact, to be fair, tonight over dinner, a lot of us were talking about all roads seem to be leading to S1000D. Okay, so everyone seems to be leaning on the maturity and the stability of S1000D, and everything's leading into that at the moment. So all in all, there was some ALP10 NATO standard type presentations in the afternoon. I've seen those 100 times, so I didn't go this afternoon. I spent more time with some of the vendors. What I've really enjoyed is there are people that I'm having conversations with on LinkedIn and via email, and this week I've actually been able to meet them, so which has been really quite nice. It's been really, really nice. Anyway, so that was day 2, more of a strategy. Tomorrow they're calling it the practitioner day, but it's really a lot of the vendors are getting up and talking about how they're solving some of these IPS problems. I've got some meetings booked with some of the software vendors. They're going to give me some updates on what they're up to in their software. And apart from that, that was day 2. We went out tonight for a nice steak dinner with a few of us. And until tomorrow, where we'll talk about what I learnt, if anything, from the practitioner days. Speak to you tomorrow.